Yo, welcome one and all to another video by me, Right Saber. If anyone's watching this, thanks for watching this, I guess. So today we are gonna be ranking every single brawler from best to worst. So we're starting from the F tier all the way up into the S tier. On the right hand corner, I have every single brawler that got a buff, and of course later on I'll be showing the brawlers that got nerfed. So these are just the balance changes. It came out on 27th of March, which was around 3 days ago. So we're just gonna be ranking every single brawl, right? So F tier. I guess we'll start off with Doug because he hasn't gotten any buffs or nerfs. I feel like he should just be reworked. He's being forgotten. But he should definitely be buffed. I'm waiting for the day he gets his hypercharge. So next up, I think we'd go with Bonnie. Bonnie's DPS is just insanely low. So I guess it should be taken into note that she could be buffed later on in the future. I'm waiting on her hypercharge as well. Next up, after Bonnie, we got Pam. Pam has a really low DPS, actually, a really low pick rate. She could be underrated in some way, but from what I see, Pam is just a pretty bad brawler. I think that's it for the F tiers. The meta has been switching up a lot, but D tier. In the D tier, I think we'll start off with Bull. Bull seems like a pretty good D tier pick. He hasn't really been affected by the meta in any way. He's just the same way he was last meta. But yeah, next up in the D tier, maybe we'll go with you know what? I guess we'll go with Edgar because Edgar really hadn't changed too much. He did get a buff. As you can see, it's a decreased gadget cooldown for both of his gadgets. Both of them are really good gadgets. However, his hypercharge is the only thing that's keeping him up here. I don't think he's going up there. Next up in the D tier, I think we'll do. All the brawlers have been really good, but I think we'll go with BB because BB hasn't been affected too much by the meta either. She's exactly in the same place she was earlier. I don't think anything has happened to her. So yeah, I think she should be right up here. Next up in the D tier, maybe we'll go with Shelly. Shelly, I've not played her too much. I'm not too scared to admit that. But Shelly isn't exactly the best brawler in the meta right now. She's not the best brawler, not the best pick either. She's mainly a showdown brawler from what I see, but I could be wrong, right? Next up in the D tier, I think I'll go with Chuck. Nothing's happened to Chuck recently. He's just a one-trick pony from what I can see, right? He's just always this D tier brawler, and I think he would stay up there until he actually gets some sort of buff, which is pretty significant. So I think that's it for D tiers. Maybe we'll come back to the D tier to check it out later on. But for now, we'll go to C tier. These brawlers aren't really competitive. You could play them if you want, in my opinion. So in the C tier, we'll go with Jackie. Jackie hasn't exactly been the best brawler, nor has she been the worst brawler. So, I mean, Jackie can be going in both ways in the meta because she is a really good brawl ball pick. She's really good for 3v3 and all that. So next up in the C tier, I think we'll go with Charlie. She got a buff that is ever so slight. She just got like a supercharge rate, if I'm right. From 7 hits to 6 hits, she gets her super. She has an incredibly low DPS. She could be lower in this tier list, but I think a C tier is pretty safe for her. Next up in the C tier, I think we'll go with Nani. Once again, nothing much has happened with Nani, but I think a C tier is pretty safe because she has been really good. She is one of my most favorite brawlers, but nothing's happened much to her. Next up in the C tier, we'll have Gale. Gale he really fell down the meta, right? He was one of my favorite brawlers, but he was one of my most favorite brawlers to play. But he has fallen down the meta, right? He can be countered nowadays. He did get multiple nerfs recently. So yeah, next up in the C tier, I think I'll go with Mortis. Mortis, nothing much has happened to him except he got a hypercharge nerf. Right, you'd see how much that impacts the meta nowadays because a hypercharge nerf is pretty bad for a brawler in the tier list in the meta because Mortis got a decreased hypercharge rate from 40% to 30%, as you can see in the right hand corner. So sorry about that. Next up in the C tier, I think I'll go with Shade. Shade's just a really underwhelming brawler now. He did get a buff to a gadget which absolutely nobody used. Does that make him better? Probably not, in my opinion, because I've never been a fan of Shade. I've not been that good at using Shade. I guess that's a me problem. But I don't know if anyone else is facing that, because Shade, in my opinion, is a pretty bad brawler right now. I think that's it for C tier. Oh, wait. I think we'll go with Fang next. Maybe Fang did get a bit better from what I've seen. I've seen many people playing Fang. But I don't know if that makes him any better right now, though. Next up in the C tier, we'll have Willow. Willow didn't do too much in the meta. I'm hoping she gets a hypercharge, and I'm pretty sure she has a confirmed hypercharge, but we just don't know when, right? So next up in the C tier, I think we'll go with Clancy. Even Mo got a nerf, dude. I mean, even Mo got a buff, but I don't see why Clancy doesn't have the same rights to get a buff either, because he's facing incredible horribleness. I guess that's just the thing. Because he is pretty bad. As of right now, I never use him. I guess he's pretty bad right now. Next up in the C tier, I feel like we could go with Lily. Nothing much happened with Lily. She is a fun brawler to play in Showdown maybe, but the gadget nerf, and of course with the unlimited gadgets, she has become pretty bad because her cooldown's nearing to 30 seconds, so that's pretty bad for her. Next up in C tier, I think I'll go with a brawler like I'll say Ems. Ems did once again get like an increased hypercharge rate, but that impacts her in a pretty large way. So next up in the C tier, I think we'll go with Draco. Draco didn't get too much to him. Nothing happened to him. So next up in the C tier, we probably can have a brawler like let's see here. I feel like we could go with Crow. Crow didn't have anything happen to him this meta. Nothing's changed. He's just pretty bad this meta. That's from what I've seen. So yeah, we'll get to the B tier now. B tier has a lot of brawlers which you can play actually competitively, but they are pretty mid. Let's be honest. In the B tier, we'll start off with Mo. He got a buff which is pretty crazy. As you can see, he got a 25% reload speed buff, which is a lot compared to a lot of brawlers out there. Next up, we have Primo. Primo is a really good brawler. I'd say I'm pretty decent with him as well. I don't know about you guys. Next up in B tier, we have Spike. Spike's curveball gadget is pretty. I mean, dude, curveball is star power. His curveball star power is pretty easy to dodge if you're decent at the game. If you've seen many Spikes, but he is pretty good as a brawler. Next up in the B tier, we have Leon. Leon has been slightly better because he is free to play for every single player that joins ranked, which I feel is pretty bad because my randoms aren't the best right now. Next up in the B tier, we have Carl. Carl's hyper didn't really do too much to him. Pretty underwhelming, to be honest. I'd be happy if they give that a buff. But yeah, next up in the B tier, I think we'll go with Spike. I mean Squeak. Squeak really got nerfed because of his wind up gadget, which got fixed. So from 11 seconds, his cooldown goes to 14 seconds, which was pretty bad. That was one thing about him which I really liked, but I don't know about you guys. Next up in the B tier, I think we'll go with Bo here. Bo really isn't the best brawler right now. He isn't in the best position. He is pretty bad. Next up in the B tier, I think we'll go with Buzz because Buzz has been better because my randoms have been getting slightly better with him. But yeah, next up in the B tier, I think we'll go with Meeple. Meeple really has gone pretty bad because I've not been playing him too well, and he did get a nerf as well for both of his gadgets. I was most worried about the Rage Quit gadget because I felt like that was overpowered, but now since they nerfed both of it, I feel like he should be going down there. Next up, we'll be talking about Gus. Gus, I mean, he could be higher, he really could, but I don't seem to like him right now. I don't seem to see how he could be somewhere like in the A tier or the S tier. But he is a really good brawler. Trust me, you could be using him, but he isn't at the best position right now. Next up, I think I'll go with Barley here. Barley didn't get any nerfs or buffs, if I'm right. But he is a really good thrower. Next up in the B tier, I think we will go with Pearl. Pearl is a really good damage dealer, right? She deals a lot of damage, and she's a really good brawler as a whole. Next up in the B tier, next up in the B tier, we'll go with Cordelius. Actually, we have a lot of B tiers, because Cordelius deals a lot of damage. He's a great tank counter. He's a great he has great hypercharge, and he could counter a lot of tanks with it. Next up in the B tier, I think I'll go with Ruffs. Ruffs hypercharge is really good because it does give hypercharges to your team, and if you have a good comp, you could really make good use of it. Next up in the B tier, we have Tick. Tick is a really decent brawler. He takes care of people that are next to him better than other throwers, but overall he's a pretty good brawler. Next up in the B tier, I think we'll go with Dynamite. Dynamite deals crazy good damage, so I feel like he should be up here. His hypercharge is basically a kill confirm, but other than that, I feel like he should be staying here. Next up in the B tier, I think we'll go with Artie. He's a great marksman. He's a great damage dealer. He does everything, so I feel like he deserves to stay up here. Next up in the B tier, of course, we'll go with Belle. Belle deserves to be higher, I'll be honest, but she did get nerfed this update, if I'm right, to her nest egg gadget, so I feel like this is kinda deserved. Next up in the B tier, I feel like we should go with, we'll go with Hank actually. Hank got a really major hypercharge nerf, right? So his hypercharge was one of, or if not the best hypercharge in the game, and he just gets it nerfed so badly. So his hypercharge projectiles home 50% less, which I feel is really bad. Next up in the B tier, I feel like we'll go with Tara because Tara, let's be honest, she is a good brawler, a great damage dealer. She can do major team wipes, but overall she did get a buff, but I don't know if that makes her too good as of right now. So yeah, next up, B tier, I feel like we'll go with Sandy, definitely. Sandy is a great controller brawler because after all, she does support her comp really well if she does have a good comp, because with her hypercharge, you can support your teammates quite a lot. So yeah, next up in the B tier, we'll go with a brawler like Meg, because Meg did get a hypercharge, but it's not the most overwhelming hypercharge out there. I feel like this is a really good hypercharge, but overall it could be better. Next up in the B tier, we'll go with Buster. Buster is really good, but his hypercharge didn't exactly impact him the most. He he's a really good tank. He deals great damage, but I feel like he went down a bit in the meta, and his hypercharge was a bit underwhelming. Maybe I could push him up to the A tier. Actually, you know what? I'll push him up to the A tier, but I think he just stays there. Next up in the B tier, we'll go with Byron. Byron didn't have anything to him this matter really. He's a really good brawler. He's a really good support brawler. You should definitely consider using him if you'd want to. Next up in the B tier, I think we'll go with Penny. Right, she fell off the meta, and she kind of fell off as a whole because she did get a hypercharge nerf last in the last balance changes. But yeah, next up in the B tier, we'll go with Eve actually, because Eve does not do too much damage in my opinion, from what I've seen. There are many B tier brawlers up here, so yeah. Next up in the B tier, we'll do a rapid fire. We have Piper. Piper isn't the best brawler as of right now. There are better marksmen, but this isn't exactly a marksman category. Actually, we'll do a bit of the lower classes right now. Colt, I think, should go in the C tier because I don't really see how he could be any higher right now. Miko should go in the C tier probably. He didn't do too much here. But yeah, Rosa could probably go in the C tier as well. She got her Grow Light gadget nerfed. So yeah. Next up, I think we'll start off with the A tier. We'll start rounding up the A tier. In the A tier, we'll start off with Nita, obviously, because she is a great controller and damage dealer. So I feel like she deserves a spot up there. Next up, we have Daryl. Daryl is a crazy good assassin, come tank, but he is a really good tank as well because his super is amazing. Next up in the A tier, we'll go with B. She did get her hypercharge and she did get nerfed this update for her Rattling Hives gadget, but overall I feel like she's still a pretty good brawler. Next up in the A tier, we'll go with Max. She's an absolutely wonderful support brawler. She can support her teammates really well if you have a good Max on your team or if that's you. Next up in the A tier, I feel like we'll go with Kenji. Kenji didn't have much going on with him this meta, but I feel like he definitely deserves his place up there in the A tier. Next up in the A tier, of course, we'll go with Rico. Rico didn't have much to him this update either. Yeah, so he didn't get nerfed either, but I feel like he still deserves a spot up there. Next up in the A tier, we'll go with Sam. I rate him up here because I just feel bad for him. He had an emergency nerf after one day, and his hypercharge was definitely one of the best in the game. So yeah. Next up in the A tier, of course, we'll go with Grom. Grom is a really good thrower in the meta as of right now because of his hypercharge, and I'm not being around the bush here. He is a pretty mid brawler without the hypercharge, but at the same time with the hypercharge, he is a really good brawler. Next up, A tier, we have Colette. Colette's a great tank counter. She's great in heist. She could be a one-trick pony, but at the same time, she's a great tank counter. Same thing for Melody. She's heist-only brawler, to be honest, but she is a really good brawler in terms of dealing damage. She's a great 3v3 brawler. She's good in basically anything. Next up, we have 8-Bit. 8-Bit, nothing happened to him in this meta, but I really like him as a brawler. It's only the movement speed which I'm concerned about, but I feel like that could get better in some time. You get used to it later on. Next up in the A tier, we'll go Juju. She did get nerfed to her gadget and her shield, So she could stay at the bottom of the A tier for now. But yeah, next up in the A tier, I think we'll go with Kit. Kit's a really good assassin come support brawler if you play her gadgets and star powers right. Whichever star power you want and gadget really depends on whether you want to be more of a support brawler or an assassin. Um, but anyway, Kit is a really good brawler. Next up in the A tier, we'll go with Sprout. He's a great thrower. His super is great at pushing away enemies, opponents, anything you want to call it. So yeah, next up in the A tier, we'll go with Finks because Finks really got buffed pretty well because he got a reload speed buff and a movement speed buff, which I feel is pretty great. Next up in the A tier, we're definitely going with the brawler like Lou. He is really good in the meta right now. He can stun people pretty well. So yeah, he did get a nerf for a decreased supercharge rate. But even though that had happened, his super is really good once you get it. Next up, we have Frank. He could be put at the bottom of the A tier. He got a nerf in his hypercharge. So I did check the nerfs right before this, and I had seen it as soon as it had come out. So yeah, next up, I think we'll go with Griff. He's a great controller and a great damage dealer. He's basically a kill confirm. His super is like that. I can't wait for him to get a hyper. Next up in the A tier, we'll go with Ollie. Ollie did get a nerf to his supercharge rate, his gadgets, both of them, I'm pretty sure. But I think that really just affects his progression in the meta. Next up, we have Surge. Surge is definitely one of my favorite brawlers because his super and his progression in the meta is really stable. His hypercharge is great. Everything about him is good. Next up in the A tier, we'll go with Larry and Lori. He is a really good brawler, and despite the nerfs that he gets pretty often, I feel like he definitely deserves a buff because he has been hanging on there. Next up, I think we'll go with Ash. Ash is a great tank. He could be lower in the meta. He could be lower in the tier list, but Ash is a really good brawler. You can trust me on that. Next up, we'll go with Amber. Definitely, she didn't get any sort of buff or nerf, if I'm right. But she is a really good brawler. As a controller, she deals great damage. Her super is great, all that. We'll go with, we love Gene in the A tier. He's once again a great controller, great covering area, and everything about him I just love. Next up, we'll go with Mandy. Her hypercharge came out in the last season, and she was really good. Not in the last season, actually. It did come like 3 weeks ago, along with many other hypercharges, but her hypercharge was just great. Next up, we got Barry, because as a support brawler, he is a really good support brawler, but like mostly all brawlers, he got nerfed pretty badly. Next up, I think we'll go with Janet here. Once again, she got her hypercharge nerf. It's pretty bad because her hypercharge was the only thing that made her cling on in there. So once something like this happens, they really just go down the meta. Next up, we have Otis. Otis didn't get anything done to him really, but he's a great controller, great tank counter, everything about him. I just love it. Next up, I think we'll go with Jessie. She's a great controller. She is maybe a heist only brawler in some cases, but she is really good in dealing damage, and she is good in all that. Next up, we'll go with Polka. In the previous tier list by many other YouTubers, he was an S tier because of his gadgets, but he did get his gadgets nerfed, both of them, so I feel like that just makes him go down the meta. Next up, we'll go with Angela. He's a great marksman. This is exactly the best marksman meta, but he is a pretty bad brawler as of right now. Next up, I think we'll go with Lola. Lola has always been like a B tier brawler to me, but this hype charge, it can go both ways, right? I've played it and she did get better by it, sort of, but there are two ways to look at her. Next up, we'll go with Maisie. She isn't exactly a marksman. She's just a brawler that deals a lot of damage. She just happens to deal a lot of damage. Next up, in the A tier, I think we'll go with Gray. He got a nerf. I don't know in what. I'll just check it right now. But he got nerfed for his walking cane gadget. That makes sense, because it did have a really low cooldown, and he is a really good brawler because of his supporting and all that. Next up, we have Chester. Once again, he was part of the emergency nerf. He had one of the best, if not the best, hypercharge after that second round hypercharge. But as of right now, he is a pretty bad brawler. Next up, we have Mr. P. Actually, yeah, no, you know what? I think that the meta didn't exactly affect him too much. What happened to him basically was that he got a nerf for his porters lasting for 10 seconds and a decreased movement speed. So I think he could go up there in the S tier. I feel like he has a spot up there. Next up in the S tier, we'll go with Stu. Stu got a nerf for his gadget, his speed zone gadget, which I feel is reasonable, but it just decays after 10 seconds right now. But I don't know, I feel like that's really good. Next up, the best brawler in the game, probably we go with Lumi. Lumi is a really good brawler, and many people have reviewed her and said that she's truly one of the best brawlers, if not the best brawler right now. So I feel like I agree with that completely, and I know why I didn't rank Brock. I think he should be somewhere. You know what? I'll go put him at the top of C tier. I feel like that's where he is right now. There weren't much S tier brawlers as of this tier list. However, I feel like this is a fair ranking. This is just my opinion. So yeah, this is the tier list. I'll just scroll down it. So yeah, this is the tier list, and if you guys have anything to say about it, you could tell me in the comments below. I think I've activated it. So yeah, have a nice day and see you tomorrow.